So, welcome back, ladies and gents, to the Season 3 of the WoT Pro League. And we are on to match day 9. The first game, it was a close one. We did see Playing Ducks taking Order Mortis all the way, and then Order Mortis actually taking it back on the last 2 maps to bring it all even to a draw. Now, that was pretty close fought. We saw the Pershings really coming into their own and showing what they're made of. But this matchup will be even closer. And it will be between mousesports and Evil Panda Squad. These two are classics of the game, facing off several times before. And I can't wait to see who's going to come out the better of this one. And I daren't only put my money on either of these people. How do you feel about this one?
I honestly think mousesports is kind of in their stride now. I mean, they do beat WoT Pro, so I think they could take it. But Evil Panda Squad, you know, they've beaten mousesports before. They beat them in match day 2 of last season, so they can easily take it as well. And you got to remember that Gamescom, if you remember the first game, they just obliterated them 3-0. They just completely swept them aside. And I think mousesports will have that in the back of their mind. That may like drop them down a bit in terms of confidence. And obviously, these are 2 of the biggest Polish teams, so they obviously train a lot against each other. So they'll probably have a better idea of exactly who's going to win this one as well.
Yeah, going to be very hard to predict this one. I don't really want to put my money on it yet. But in case you guys at home do want to get yourself in for a chance of winning some bonus codes, let's pass you over to the delightful Melly, who's waiting in the wings to kind of take you through exactly how you guys can get involved. So how can the people at home get involved, Melly?
It's pretty easy. Head over to our social media platforms on Facebook and Twitter. Both are called WoT Pro League. And yeah, look at what I'm posting, to be honest. It's easy as it is. I will put up a vote for the upcoming matchup. My microphone is kind of weird. I'm sorry. And
can't trust it with anything. Lighting, microphones, chocolates.
Doors.
Doors. Yeah.
Horses.
Brought chocolate. I'm good with horses.
Okay.
Right.
Until they're bad to you and you punch them.
Probably why you're good with them. I mean, if a horse is scared about getting punched, it's going to be good.
It bit
They're not going to misbehave, are they?
Oh, come on. It bit me in my shoulder and I slapped it.
Knocked it out.
That's
Night Tyson.
No, that's
Brilliant.
how horses deal with themselves as well.
They slap
each other.
nature. Well,
That'd be
they kick.
fantastic.
They more kick. But I can't kick a horse. Well, I could, but I'm not kicking a horse.
All right.
Isn't that what you do to make it speed up? We'll get off this subject.
Oh,
but
come on.
Jesus. Anyway,
Oh,
giddy
God.
up with the old predictions. That'll get involved, eh?
Wow.
Exactly. Let's get back to topic. Yeah, facebook.com/WoT Pro League. I will post a vote where you can vote for your favorite team or your favorite team in the current matchup, and leave a comment in the comment section below with the exact, well, your prediction. And you basically have to predict the exact outcome of the matchup. And with a bit of luck, you may get one of 3 bonus codes. And also, we have our 3 tweets of the day. Challenge running on Twitter. I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong today. I think it's...
falling apart.
I'm still so happy that Lauren is back. And it puzzles my brain. 3 tweets of the day on Twitter. Head over to Twitter, tweet me something nice, and let me hear your predictions. And if you have any questions, keep them coming. I will ask Laughter and Pansy after the next matchup. And yeah, that's kind of all, I guess.
That's kind of all.
Managed to say everything I want to say. Yeah.
Well, let's meet Melly very quickly now. She's in her own little world over there. We don't let her into the stream too much, but occasionally we have to keep Twitch chat happy. But obviously, that's how you guys can get involved with your predictions. Let's give you the head-to-heads here so you guys can see these lineups right next to each other, because they are classics of this game. We don't need to tell you too much. But take us through any new additions, any changes, any star players you think will stand out today.
So we got Evil Panda Squad versus mousesports, the team leader of mousesports, the shot caller, obviously that famous Elian. And for the side of well, for mousesports, we've got Elian. It's kind of strange, yeah. Elian is the team street leader, shot caller of mousesports. I literally, these 2 teams, I get confused so much because they are so alike and they've played against each other so much. So Zenith and Sony, the 2 team leaders for Evil Panda Squad. Obviously, New Multi show the star player as well, although sometimes he does actually end up losing as many matches as he ended up winning for that team. So it's always a bit of a strange one for him. And, you know, we got Puzzling actually playing the T1. He was one of the MX50-100 drivers for mousesports, but now playing that T1 a lot more. And the kind of lineup change we have in Season 3, obviously now we're on Matchday 9, it's not really the start anymore, but we might as well mention them anyway. You got Mungan for the win, Unicom player from Pirates. Pretty much Lucas Yisti as well comes from one of the teams, I believe, 7 Sins. So a couple of changes for Evil Panda Squad, but I think in terms of skill, very similar.
Yeah, indeed. And they're fairly close on the points as well at the moment. League standing-wise, mousesports 9th, Evil Panda Squad 7th. So very hard to call between these two. I feel for you guys at home. If you want those bonus codes, you know exactly what you guys at home have to do. Get involved on Facebook and Twitter. And until that point, let's start looking towards those tank picks into the first map, because these guys are almost ready here. So let's jump in straight away, because the first map will be Prokhorovka. And we've seen some really nice adaptations coming through, and I think we're seeing it again here. So let's not waste any time, because I think we've got some surprises now coming up. So what are we seeing at the moment? So
getting those T1 picks out straight away. Evil Panda Squad and mousesports, the double T1 for them. Then the double AMX 3090 for both, and the double T69 for both. So straight away, just mirrored picks all the way. Pershing as well is the last pick for these two. So literally just the same picks for both these two teams. The double T69, the double AMX 3090, the Pershing, and those two T1s. So once again, showing that the Pershing is viable on this map. But we'll have to wait and see if they can play it quite as well as WoT Mortis did.
Yeah, so let's get you rolling into that introduction video of Prokhorovka.
Prokhorovka, a large map at 1,000 by 1,000 meters, which allows teams to stretch their legs and artillery to test their skills. There are 3 primary routes of attack: over the left tree road, the middle area, and towards the town. The tree road is very open and flat, but has a very large number of bushes and trees that provide good cover if you're not shooting. The middle area is where the initial engagements happen, as teams gather as much information as they possibly can. Both teams are fairly symmetrical and only offer small hills and brushes as cover. The middle area is where the initial engagements happen, as teams gather as much information as they possibly can. The railroad that splits the map has a large number of bushes running alongside it that provides good cover, and the occasional route of attack in the village and hill area. Teams should look towards taking fast tanks and artillery as they complement each other on this expansive map.
Alrighty, let's get straight into the action, because in the north, in that blue color, will be mousesports facing off against Evil Panda Squad in the south, in the gold and yellow. What are we seeing so far here? So
mousesports doing this classic, pushing straight out the middle of the MX 3090s and the T69s, trying to get as much information as they possibly can at the beginning. But Ilian does get punished, 840, but he did spot the whole of Evil Panda Squad straight away. Evil Panda Squad doing the same just from the other side. And I'm pretty sure these two are just going to go straight at from the beginning.
Indeed. So Numodshow will be the man standing over the other side of the railroad. He's got a good connection towards Ketavan, but still he's in trouble. 4 players now converging onto his position. 385. He's going to be going down straight away unless Eclipse can do something magical. Carmen claims him down. Eclipse will be the next focus to fire. He's down to 866, but there's the reply. Finally, Eclipse coming on to Carmen. And now Evil Panda Squad need to reset this battle. They need to back away. They're not coming out the victors of this one. They lost their key player, and now it's all time to calm it down a touch.
Wow. Within the first 45 seconds of this game, both these two teams just battling it out, and obviously that was just within seconds of the MX-39s of reloading. Ketavan's going to try and continue on with the kind of momentum, and I think Evil Panda Squad know that the kind of positions mousesports have can give them the initial advantage. It's exactly what they've done. They've got the hold down position for the Pershing and the T69, while the whole Evil Panda Squad, they have obviously the village, but if you don't retreat far enough in the village, then you can be in big trouble.
Yeah, and look at this. Zenef and Alien battling out as well. Alien went on the rotate to come around the side to try and get some fire down towards that 6 line, on towards that village area. Zenef had to fall back, get into position and cover it off, because at that time, mousesports could have got such a bit of an edge if he managed to make it through. Zenef, however, is in slight trouble. Niz Pizzoni has got some sort of angle towards him, but EJS as well is looking towards Alien, and this is so tentative, but actually Mouse are making their move. They're pushing straight over that railroad, and now Ketavan's going low. Mako going low as well. Fire comes through. Alien does take down Zenef, however. Eclipse needs to come up big right now. He needs to take these tanks right down right now, but he's on fire. Oh my word. Did he just get tired? No, it was a T1 coming in. They're throwing everything at Evil Panda Squad to get this one going, but Eclipse does take down Ketavan. Mako should follow suit if Eclipse can land the shell. He does do just that. He is keeping hope alive for Evil Panda Squad, but Luke is in trouble. He's down to only 159 HP. Sony battling out with Alien in the T1, and that's only going to go one way as Niers Pizzorni has found Luke, and now Eclipse is left in a 1v4. He's got 408 HP. He's still on the reload. I do not see this going well.
I don't see it going well at all. 1 versus 4 is stretching a bit far, even for Eclipse, and he's going to try and scamper out of there in his AMX 3090. On his heels is Niers Pizzorni from mousesports, and he's going to try and connect as many shells as he can before Eclipse does get too far in the distance. Obviously, AMX 3090 is considerably faster than the Pershing, but Elian is also playing the 3090. He's going to be able to catch up pretty sharpish. And I think, within 4 minutes of this game, or 3.5 minutes of this game, it's pretty much game over.
Well, we're going to find out right now. Eclipse is getting taken down and taken out, and we will see mousesports actually picking up this first map in some real fashion. They're going in absolutely mentally onto that first exchange. New multi-show going down. It was a real close one, and then somehow mousesports just got the edge. How did they just do that?
I'm not sure. I think at the end of the day, it was pretty even at the beginning. mousesports, okay, they took down one, but then Evil Panda Squad replied.
They did.
But
yep.
at the end of the day, mousesports had that momentum. They just continued putting on the pressure. Alien was putting on the pressure, and then they just carried on. And Zenith couldn't have it. Sony and Zenith didn't have any tactic to reply with. And they kind of split up all their tanks into the village. And all mousesports had to do was find one of those tanks and just focus it down. Because obviously, if you're in a village, then you have all sorts of obstacles blocking the line of fire for your other tanks. So all you have to do is just push in and just find one of them. So at the end of the day, mousesports just kept up the momentum, kept up the pressure. That's what they do so well. And it paid off. It's a 1-0 on Prokhorovka.
Also got to say it. Alien there in that 3090, 2.4k damage. Bearing in mind there's a Pershing in the mix there up against him. There was a lot of firepower to come up against and a lot of HP to take down, but mousesports did it. And in those completely symmetrical lineups, I think that's saying a lot for mousesports at the moment because, as you said, they're on a bit of a hot streak right now, and well, it looks like they want to continue it. So big damage coming out from Niers Pizzorni as well. 1.5k for him in that Pershing for the mouse side. But next map, let's look towards it. It's going to be Ruinberg. We don't normally see it in rotation this early on, but I'm glad to see it here because normally it's that defining map and it can really be a tough fought one. But I want to see what these guys do here because I know both of them do have slight adaptive routes. They're happy playing the city area on occasion as well. So looking forward to this one. I think they're ready for the tank picks. Let's throw you into that so you can see what's going on here. Now, who do you think this one favors a touch?
Neither, I think, to be honest. All right, Evil Panda Squad can play city maps very well, but they're just not so good on Ruinberg. Although they did actually end up being mousesports at Gamescom on this map on the first in the first best of 3, so in first best of 5 in. So I think they have the advantage of just having a little bit more confidence on this map, maybe a little bit of fear just for the side of mousesports. So generally, I would put this one to Evil Panda Squad. But you can go either way. Double T1 for EPS and double T1 for mousesports. Straight off the bat, a T69 and an AMX 3090 is going to be picked by Evil Panda Squad, an AMX 5100 and a T69 for mousesports. So straight away, Mouse going for that 5100, making sure the other team doesn't have the edge in terms of firepower and HP. But it will be replied by a 5100 and a T69, so the same pick by Evil Panda Squad. Before Alien does pick that AMX 3090 and the T69. So both teams just completely mirrored as it was on Prokhorovka, all picking the same tanks, and I think that's not such a bad thing, as it does come down to more strategy, execution, and skill as opposed to anything else. Then, if you pick something like a KV5, which can work really well or just go disastrously, then it's really is it about skill or strategy? Or was it just that one pick which happened to work on that day? So last pick from Evil Panda Squad is that be that T69, and the same goes for mousesports. So for both teams, a triple T69, an AMX 5100, and an AMX 3090 for the middle spot, and obviously those 2 T1s.
So quickly, on this map, where's your money?
I would give it with Evil Panda Squad.
Okay, so you think it's going to come back all even off this one?
I think it's going to go 1-1, yeah.
I think we've got to bear in mind the fact that Numolcho was taken out so early on from the last game. He was unable to make a mark into it. So hopefully on this one, he'll be able to stay alive a little bit longer. I don't think Ruinberg really allows that stupidly early exchange unless they go up that Crescent Moon Road and just go head-to-head. But I don't think these two will go straight for that this time around. I think Evil Panda Squad might just slow down a touch. But we're going to have to find out. Now, I'm not sure where my money's on for this one, but we can only find out. So let's get you introduced to Ruinberg.
Ruinberg is one of our newest city maps, and it's fairly large, being 800 by 800 meters. There are 3 main routes of attack: the roads leading to the city, the road going through the middle, and the village area. Each of these have 2 important areas to control. The city has very large roads and plenty of opportunities for teams to flank. The long roads also provide for good sniping areas as well as corner shooting. Teams often push through the village area, and once controlled, the team can move on to the enemy's base. You should pick heavy tanks with high alpha damage for corner sniping, as well as a faster tank for the middle spot.
Alrighty, guys, let's get into map number 2. It is going to be Ruinberg, as Joe, just call me Joe Miller, did say. So on the north side in that gold and yellow, it's Evil Panda squad, currently a map down, up against mousesports, who will be in the south in blue. So what are we seeing so far?
Well, just to mention, I mean, you can see every single tank on both teams are autoloaders. Every single one. It's just really weird to see at the beginning. But it is Ruinberg, so it does favour the autoloader, as taking that tier 8 tank down at the beginning is so vital. Potomako pushing up towards the village, which is a little strange because he is an AMX-51. You can get caught out by a T69 because it will have the reload. The rest of mousesports pushing along that Crescent Moon, and Evil Panda squad doing the same pretty much just from the other side, pushing up towards the village as well. New Multiture would take the first one, and I think they're just going to go for another ball like Prokhorovka.
Oh my word, they actually are. New Multiture being taken low. EGS down to 117 as well. This is a scary sight for Evil Panda squad. New Multiture is always being targeted down. He's the first to fall, basically. Niers Pizzoni claiming that one. Only reply so far gets put towards Carmen, as he's going to have to back away in that T69. Zenef has got himself towards the village, claiming that one, but he's not counting on Potomako coming around the side. Carmen's down low. One shot will take him out of here. 69 HP left towards him. But Lula Potomako in that 5100. Zenef has found Carmen, but Potomako hot on his heels. He's surely going to go down. Zenef is now surrounded. There we go. Potomako will claim that. Ace and Pointer now coming up, trying to join in the battle in towards the village. Not landing the shells they need to. They're going to have to be careful. Ace now has to back away on 706 HP. Eclipse in the T1 trying to keep eyes on. But right now, it's not looking good for the Evil Panda squad.
It certainly is. And now 2 tier 8 tanks down as well.
It literally was Alien there, excuse me, coming on to Ace so far away, took him down to 186.
Yeah, and Nia Pizzoni is also hitting those fantastic shots. Really amazing. And I think it's just a real good skill level. You see both these 2 teams have taken a couple of players from the Season 2 guys. And it's really working wonders. I mean, obviously for mousesports, it's doing slightly better. They're getting Ketavan and Nia Pizzoni. So, so far so good, and surprisingly enough, actually Potomako, who's been another really good player here, has actually come straight from Evil Panda squad. So the team lineup's completely changing against Potomako. Does take down Eclipse as well, and it's done wonders. But at the moment, 3 versus 4, and although Evil Panda squad 1 tier 8 tank down for the worst, can still come back in this. Elian on 500 HP, Ketavan on 800, Potomako on about 900, and Nia Pizzoni on 800 as well. So all taking a bit of damage, but not a crushing amount of damage. And Ace and Lucas Isti doing a lot worse. And Pointer on 4 HP, but that's just saying that, being taken down to 1137 from Elian and Nia Pizzoni. And, well, at the moment, Evil Panda squad may find themselves a way in, or just wait for a mistake from mousesports.
Yeah, it's a troublesome time, but they seem to be mounting the attack just a touch through that village. And as you said, the only real player sitting pretty is Pointer. The rest, the likes of Luxie and Ace, are in trouble. Potomako has spotted out this move. His HP already dwarfing what's left on the Evil Panda squad side. And Pointer, Luke, and Ace all lining up here. This is a troublesome push. What are they doing? Pointer now receiving shells left, right, and center. Luke has just about made it across alive. 326, make it 108. Lucky to not get tracked, but Pointer's going low as well. Ketavan and Potomako waiting in the wings, waiting to kind of get that damage dealt. But the initial fire is now coming towards Luke. There we go. Ketavan connecting towards Ace. Now just to stand, Pointer and Luke to take on almost the entirety of Mouse, and it's going so poorly. Pointer now left in a 1v5. And it's landed straight into his face as mousesports claim map number 2. This is unheard of. Mousesports are looking so damn strong. And every single game so far, they have completely and utterly locked down New Multishow. The one man who can step up and do that individual work is just completely and utterly out of this. He only got 476 damage done.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, it literally, like...
He just got melted.
Yeah, get your main player out, and you're screwed, especially with the Evil Panda squad, who rely on you multi-show so much for those engagements. You know, he always comes out on top of that situation. Exactly what mousesports know. Get him out early on. I mean, if you got a choice, I mean, obviously, they would have taken out anyone if they get given the chance. It's not like, okay, new multi shows the only guy we can kill at the beginning. But if you've got a choice between any of Evil Panda Squad, take out that guy because he's absolutely deadly. And from that point onwards, it was more of a matter of Evil Panda Squad just trying to get themselves back in there, trying to take down a tier 8. Obviously, they did quite a lot of damage in reply for New Multi Show going down. But then Zenith came around as AMX 1390, which was a short-sighted move because Poto Maka was there in the 5100. And obviously, he only had 50 seconds reload till he could get back in. And once Zenith went down, it was 2 for 0 pretty much. And it was game over for Evil Panda Squad. They didn't have the firepower, they didn't have the HP, and it was only a matter of time before mousesports just closed in for the kill.
It's been an incredibly quick game so far. We are getting ready towards Himmelsdorf now. So let's not waste any time because these guys are ready for it. So let's jump into those tank picks because I think they're raring to go here. And I don't know where to put my money. At the moment, mousesports are looking so damn strong. It would be a stupid... well, it'd be a stupid bet to not put it on them, pretty much. These guys are looking so good, but will Himmelsdorf be the same?
Well, you've got to remember, playing Ducks, the first 2 maps, they completely dominated Odomortis.
Very true.
Completely dominated on Ensk and Himmelsdorf. But then Odomortis came back in again. So 2 down at the moment after probably about 10 minutes of game time. You would give it to mousesports at this point, but Evil Panda Squad have been known to come back from these. But the tank picks has started. The double T1 for mousesports, double T1 for Evil Panda Squad, double I3 for mousesports. But it's worth mentioning, I was talking a little bit about the roster changes. Most of these guys, remember GF Gaming from last season, who actually came last, got relegated. They've actually picked up quite a lot of their players. We've got, who have we got? We've got Ketavan, we've got Lucas Yisti. So they got... I think Nia Pizzorni. I'm not sure. I think Nia Pizzorni's always been mousesports. Yeah. But yeah, those two have really gone to those teams, and I think it was more about that GF Gaming not having the synergy and the kind of motivation to go forwards as opposed to these to being bad players, and you could see that some of the shots those guys were making were just incredible. But yeah, double I3 for Evil Panda Squad as well, double 5100 for mousesports and Evil Panda Squad. So both these two teams once again going for the mirrored lineups. Last pick from mousesports will be that IS3, making it a double IS3, a triple IS3, double AMX 5100, double T1. And now just waiting for Evil Panda Squad to pick their last tank. So they could pick an IS3, a 5100, or a Pershing. Very likely to be the first two, then the latter. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, the T69 with the IS3 lineups coming out these days is really started to be phased out. And we saw, again, Odomortis picking it. And also on the last map, Mines, so many of those shells were bouncing on the front superstructure of that T69, even on an AMX 1390. It's just I just don't like it anymore. I'm not a fan of that tank. Even though I've played it a lot, I'm just upset by that fact. But this kind of things happen. We'll have to see if a rebalance comes along at some point. But still waiting on Evil Panda Squad to pick what Lucas Yisti will be playing. My prediction will be an IS3 just because, well, it's more his kind of tank in my opinion, maybe even a T32, but they're obviously considering it and they're taking their time. They want to be countering anything that Mouse has taken, knowing that they've taken what they have. Maybe come up with something clever, maybe probably have a book of tactics, and we'll be picking a tank based on that. But it will be the IS3 as their last tank, so it's going to be a completely symmetrical lineup for these two. The triple IS3, double 51 and double T1. Standard lineup, as it's been on all the other maps. We'll have to wait and see if Evil Panda Squad can finally get themselves back into this.
Yeah, current scoreline 2-0 at the moment in favor to mousesports, who've been so aggressive, so well collected, perfect execution. And Himmelsdorf, they've got a very heavy lineup. I don't think we can see those speedy pushes coming out, but when it happens, we'll certainly know about it. The T1s have been so vital on this map in the last couple of play days that I've been a part of, really ringing in the scoreline. So we're going to have to find out if it's going to be the same. But let's introduce you back to the lovely Joe Miller with a video of Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf is the city maps of city maps. It's a small one, being 600 by 600 meters. There are 3 routes of attack: the hill, the banana, and the train side. The middle area is relatively easy to push, however can end up in disaster as you can be flanked from every side. The road, often called banana, allows for direct head-on assaults but requires a lot of resources. Both the railroad area and the road next to it are good routes of attack, being very open and straight. However, for those very same reasons, you can be easily caught out and taken down. The map features many densely housed areas, which provides good places for engagements and routes of attack. Teams must be aware of the various routes their opponents can take through the map, as well as the hull-down positions enemies can take throughout the entire map. The trick with Himmelsdorf is to catch an enemy tank unsupported by his teammates and then use that advantage to collapse on the entire enemy team.
So welcome into the third map. As Joe said, it will be Himmelsdorf. So what are we seeing so far from these two?
Well, we might not have very much time to explain because Nia Pozzoni and Ketavan are pushing very aggressively along that banana route, trying to get some initial damage onto mousesports or onto Evil Panda Squad as they push up the hill. He has found Eclipse. He's going to have to reverse. I don't think Eclipse expected to see him there quite so early on. But that will give mousesports a lot of information because now they probably could guess that they're going towards the 0 line, because if Eclipse is there, then it does suggest that at least. But we'll have to wait and see if they can react on that. The rest of, as you can see on mousesports' side, are going up that hill. A couple of tanks in defense, at least Eclipse. But, you know, that T69 not being in any of these lineups, it does kind of open the hill up to the fact that there's not going to be any damage on there. It's very unlikely that you'll see like a 5100 to go up there on its own because it just doesn't have the gun depression. Lucas ESD is going to take out the Evil Panda Squad guy of Snip. So straight away, it's the advantage onto Evil Panda Squad. And that T1 is a real advantage. You know, it's such an important tank on this map. But Elian and the whole of mousesports seem to have like just started to push in. They're really playing aggressively at the beginning. And they're also going to try and kill one of their T1. It's going to be Pointer. Elian's going to try and take out. It all means down to 5 shells, so 1.5k damage, but they're going straight through the middle.
Yeah, and, well, Evil Panda Squad can't see it from the hill. So now finally it's popped up on the radar. Zenith might be able to get a connection as he could towards Carmen and Polo Mako, but they need to get running and pretty down fast. Luke and Eclipse already get themselves down towards the point. They need to get down here quickly because, well, as you may have noticed, mousesports are making their move. Polo Mako down to 541. He's the first to get clipped and tracked and held in place. Nis Pizzoni already splitting off towards the flag. They're going for an all-in if I've ever seen one. Luke, Eclipse, and Sony all trying to get around the back, trying to find their way through, possibly get a flank underway, but they've got to be careful because the rest of mousesports are coming back through now. Eclipse will be the first on the scene, but the fire coming in from the hill. Luke has got the connection towards Niers Pizzoni, but they're waiting for that real burst bit of damage to come through. All on the reload. It won't take long, though. Niers Pizzoni is pretty much there. He's bounced it. Luke comes back in strong, though. 784 left towards him. He can now readjust accordingly, and Eclipse can just hold the line. Carmen and Ketavan shooting up towards that hill, trying to find Zenith. Not going to happen. Ace already getting back down towards that flag, and this is going to be a real tense battle. At
the moment, Evil Panda Squad probably in the advantage that the only new multi shows on low HP. Well, Ketavan, Nia Pizzoni, and Potomac are down to about half HE. Potomac are down to about 40%, and I think Evil Panda Squad have the advantage also of the better positions. The whole of mousesports kind of stuck in a limbo between the middle and pushing towards the cap, and they haven't seemed to have rotated. They haven't seemed to really changed up anything. I think that's a real shame because they had an advantage. But now they're going to go for the cap. That's Evil Panda Squad. They're going to put the pressure on, but Elian's going to take out Sony within a couple of seconds. Great shots by him. That's really been one of the key themes of this. mousesports actually hitting the shells.
Yeah, indeed. And look at this. It's forcing the battle to come down. Obviously, the base is being captured. There's 40 seconds left towards it. It's just forcing the hand of the team. They're actually making their way out of the cap point. They're coming around the back of Zenith, Ace, and Eclipse. They're now in trouble. Ketavan and Carmen went walkabouts, and they found them. And now Zenith down to 590. Eclipse received a shell, but he did manage to take down Polo Mako. And now there's just that chasing around the houses, trying to find the best angle, play it safe. But you can see Luke is now being focused out by Niers Pizzoni and Alien. He's surely going to drop down. Eclipse has actually come around the side. He could save him in this situation if he can get that shell connection he needs. Ketavan and Carmen being held in place by Ace and Zenith. This is so close fought. Every blow matters here. Carmen receives a massive bit of damage, but as does Eclipse. Down to 783. Carmen now backing away, as is Ketavan, trying to play this out carefully. But Luke is down to 57 HP. He's surely going to be focused out immediately, and he is. Aliens claimed that one, but Zenith immediately replying on to Ketavan as Carmen now left in a world of trouble. 78 HP. Niers Pizzoni on 106. This looks like Evil Panda Squad will be able to bring at least one map back here. And there we go. Zenith and Eclipse in unison, taking down the big players, but it's still a 2v2. But look at the HP. Niers Pizzoni should be taken down almost immediately. He's coming up off of that reload right now, but Alien's that damage-dealing, troublesome player. He's on 669 HP. Eclipse, 386. EJS, 723. So this is as close as you're going to get. They're splitting the attention. Ace is going on towards Niaspazorni. Eclipse kind of keeping eyes on Alien, because you cannot let him around that side and do the damage that they can do. So now, hot on the heels, Niaspazorni trying to avoid the fire, but there we go. Eclipse immediately came around, got that fire from that IS-3 connecting perfectly, and now just Alien stands.
Yeah, but Alien's probably about 10 seconds away from reload. 1.8k damage coming out from that SA-47. If he does connect all 6 shells, 300 average damage, 265 penetration. So he's got everything on his shoulders right now. 669 HP as well. Perfectly. Ace is on 386. 723 even. Eclipse is on 386. So put those two together and you don't even come close to 1.8k. So Alien can still do it, but you got to remember that 122mm BL9 can do 390 average damage. So 2 shots and almost certainly Alien will be down. So 1 from each. So he's got to play it perfectly, preferably with a kind of perma-track situation coming down. But you've also got to remember that it's all onto Alien because of the tier point. It's 16 to 8 Alien tier 8 tanks, so that's 8. 2 tier 8 tanks is 16. So if it does, if the clock does tick down to 0, Evil Panda Squad will take it on that as well. But you can see Evil Panda Squad rotating straight back towards the mousesports space, going for the cap, and that might actually be a good thing for Alien. If he comes from the right direction, guesses properly, then he could find one IS-3 and then find the second one under the same roof. So it's going to be tricky, but he is going to do that. He's going to go for the guess. 44 seconds left on the cap. Will they be able to do this?
It's all about that clock right in the slap bang center of your screen. You can see it ticking down, so can they. 35 seconds, and it's all onto the man Alien. As we said, he's now got to go clutch. 1v2. This is what it means to these guys. They're going to have to go absolutely huge. Dug in deep. You can already see him coming up, and it's a firing squad. Eclipse will land the shell. Evil Panda Squad absolutely smashing them then towards the end. And credit to Evil Panda Squad, that time around, they look dangerous.
They look very dangerous, but it was extraordinarily close. And what was interesting about the fact that the damage was all spread out through Evil Panda Squad. Like, there wasn't a single player that really came out on top, and I think that's just shows the whole strategy worked and the whole way they dealt with the situation. Okay, at the end, those two IS-3s reacted a little bit slowly, Niaspazorni and Ace, towards the IS-3 and the MX-5100. So I think that was a little bit slow, but either way, it was pretty much clear cut because Alien was on reload almost immediately. Because he actually had to take out the other MX-5100. They knew they had about 49 seconds to do whatever they wanted before they had to worry about that 5100. And the IS-3 is almost as fast as the 5100 as well, especially when it comes down to city maps. So you've got concrete, so horsepower to weight ratio doesn't really make quite as much difference because there's less resistance, so your top speed is almost achieved instantly.
Yeah, with that in mind, we've got another completely different map. No more city maps now. We're on to steps, which will be next, and the tank picking has begun. So let's drop you into that one, because currently the scoreline is 2-1, still in favour to mousesports, but we've seen games being turned on their head. We saw that Playing Ducks and Odin Mortis actually end up in a draw after such a definitive start. And what do you think we're going to see here on steps? So
Odin Mortis did take that double Pershing, and that's what we could see. I'm hoping we do. I'm hoping at least someone will change their lineups. I mean, a 4-1-6 like Na'Vi or T32 like one of the other Russian teams, WoT Pro team, I think that's from the European League, and starting to look towards that T32 now, so we could see that. But yeah, double T1 for Evil Panda Squad and mousesports, getting those two T1s out the way. Double MX39 for Evil Panda Squad as well. And yeah, we are seeing a kind of variation here. MX39 to T69 for mousesports, and we have that T69 and the Pershing from Evil Panda Squad, as well as that 416 and the MX39D for mousesports. So both the predicted strange tanks, Pershing and 416, being picked by these teams. Obviously, the 416 is that tier 8 Soviet tank, the prototype tank. The Pershing, obviously, one of the most famous tanks in the whole of the world, the M26, used by the American Army, and really fantastic tank, one of my favorite tanks to play. Absolutely love it. It just does everything really well, and I think that's why the teams pick it. And it eats a hell of a lot of damage with that mantle. Great gun depression, good gun. It's just a beauty. But just gonna have to wait for Evil Panda Squad to pick their next set of tanks. I believe it's going to be maybe even another Pershing or 416. Could be a T32 as well. It just depends on what kind of if they want to play aggressively or if they want to kind of sit back a little bit. And I guess what's really interesting about Steps is the fact that this is like the innovation map. Like, when these teams first started to pick the AMX 3090 and the T69s. Okay, let's not say the AMX 3090 and the 5100. You know, they're fast lineups. It was on steps. Like, it was 100% on steps. It was the first map where teams realized that if they split up all their tanks, they can come at multiple angles. They don't have to sit as a clump. They can, you know, execute strategies they never even dreamed of. And it was on steps. So it's interesting to see that teams are kind of going full circle. They're bringing back in the T32. They're bringing back in just, you know, let's play hull down. Let's play defensive. Let's play. Let's not play, you know, all in from every side. Let's play all in one direction. So it's always interesting to see that. So Evil Panda Squad picking the Pershing as their next pick, and the T32 is going to be picked by Mouse. So Mouse really going for that Russian-esque lineup with the T32, the 416, the double AMX 3090, T69, double T1, and it's just a decent lineup altogether. And as Melly just burst into tears or laughter, I'm not sure which one. Turns out to be laughter, but whatever. And mousesports ready as well, so I think we can almost get this one underway. Just waiting for a couple of the players from Evil Panda Squad to jump in game, and we will be moving on to steps. So AMX 3090 is going to be played by Zenith. The new multi-show will be playing that Pershing as well. So
yeah, can't wait to see how this one goes down one way or another. It's going to fall into the hands of Evil Panda Squad to really pull this one through if they want to go for that victory, if they really want to turn it around, ignoring the first two maps. If they can pick up from where they left off in the last one with that good execution, that great team play, the individual talent, that's what they need to do here on steps. And I'm loving the adaptation, though, coming out on this map. We will see something new, something a little bit different. As we saw, Pershing's now coming almost a normality, a T32, an Object 416. There's so much difference here that I love seeing it in action. We can see who's really gone for that interesting play, because bearing in mind, mousesports only need this one map now if they want to win it. So guys, get ready for steps.
Steps is the other open map in the map pool, being 1,000 by 1,000, having no urban areas. There are three primary routes of attack: the trench, the rocky area to the left, and the middle road. The road offers direct routes to the enemy's base, but despite having a staggering amount of cover along the way, you are vulnerable to attack from all sides. The trench area provides for great engagements, as it's only a few hills and rocks to cover the teams. Most of the engagements occur around this rock, the winner of which gains a crucial foothold on the map. The rocky left area provides the most cover for attacking and defending teams. It's essential that you pick tanks that can traverse from one side of the map to the other rapidly. They also must be able to get to the various key locations as quickly as possible. That is the key to victory.
All right, guys, so welcome into the fourth map. As Joe said, it will be steps in the north, and that golden yellow, it's Evil Panda Squad currently needing this map if they want to go on to the win, facing off against mousesports, who only need one more to claim the victory. What are we seeing so far?
A rather strange push from mousesports, actually. They've sent Catavan to the right, of the Cat Pomac to the left, along with Snip. Elian and that 416 over to the right as well, taking up that sniping location. But the other two tanks have just gone forwards. Obviously, T32 of Carmen doesn't really have to worry too much, because he's got an extraordinary amount of armor and firepower, and I believe he's actually taken the 105, the T54E1. And the whole of Evil Panda Squad pushing, well, kind of split as well. Both these two teams are splitting. They got the T1 over one side, obviously, to the spot. The rest of their tanks are kind of in this A6, A7. That's really just a really defensive move, actually. I'm not sure why, because they must realize that mousesports are not going to play offensive with that T32. Well, it's going to be offensive, but it's not going to be able to get into the key locations, as Joe said, which is so important on steps. But it's a split from both teams. But one of the things you have to consider is that Evil Panda Squad knows that they have to take out the T32 before it can become too much of a problem. Obviously, if you're at the beginning of the game, you have all your firepower, all your HP. That's when you have the biggest chance and the easiest time of taking down a tank with loads of HP and a load of armor. But if you're coming towards the end of the game when you only have like a T69 and an AMX 3090 left, then a T32 even on like 800 health is an absolute pain to take out.
Yeah, and you can see Ace already has managed to spot out Carmen with new multi-show, but not yet landing anything. So just waiting on that moment, but they are giving away the game just a touch. But you can see Sony Eclipse still hammering around the place. Really weird starting positions here.
Yeah, just a bit of a strange one, to be honest. We haven't seen this one. We haven't seen this for a while, or if at all. And what's kind of strange for me as well is the fact that you can see the 416 of Elian sitting right back. And, you know, okay, the 416 is a good sniper, I'll give it that. It's not all that good. I mean, it's got the T44 gun, which is decent, I guess, but it's going to be a hard one for him to connect the shells. And if he does connect the shells, it's 250 average damage. So how much that's really going to affect the game if he's not present with the main group of tanks, because he can have the HP to help him as well, then it might just not work out altogether. But Evil Panda Squad quite happy to split around, trying to find as much information as they can. They got the T1 over to the side, which surprisingly enough hasn't spotted the AMX 3090 and the T1 of Snip. But they don't have to worry about that too much, because capping on steps is an almost impossible tactic. It's pretty much a suicide. But Karma's taking one. He's down to 1, 2, 9, 8. Snip pushing forwards. Protomaka coming from behind. Eclipse also receives one. He's 829. He's going to have to push forward. He doesn't realize that Protomaka is actually behind. That'll give Protomaka a good chance to come in, hitting another shell. And I think he's actually tracked Eclipse.
Yeah, he did indeed. He held him right in place. 306 HP left towards Eclipse. And that 1390 needs to get itself rolling and get out of this situation. He's going to be surely going down 63 HP. He's been hammered there by just being slightly outdone by, as you said, those T1s just not quite spotting what they need to be. But this has forced the hand of Evil Panda Squad. They are mobilizing right now. Zenef, the first to receive the brunt of the firepower of mousesports. Carmen and Canavan laying in wait. And well, Evil Panda Squad looked like they wanted to go, but I think they've just realized they can't just run into this one. No,
that's one of the things Evil Panda Squad always do. They get put under pressure in one place, and then they just kind of fold and hope that they're going to win the other place, which is never a good thing. Should always think about what they want to do, come up with a good strategy, and plan for that, because Eclipse is not dead, and that's all the thing that matters, because if Eclipse was dead, then it would be a problem. But he still has HP, he still has his gun, and he's still going to be able to deal the damage. He's actually going to run across, and well, near Bazorn is going to take him out, obviously, if he runs across the field. So yeah, now mousesports have to push, and now Evil Panda Squad have to worry. And with 5 minutes and 42 seconds left on the clock, I think they have plenty of time, they have plenty of options. Zenef taking another one down to 483. And all mousesports have to do is send the T32 in, let that take all the damage, hope the whole of Evil Panda Squad waste their shells on it, especially the AMX 3090 and the T69 with those autoloaders, and then just use their AMX 3090s, the 416 with his great DPM, just to push in and finish them off.
Yeah, and Evil Panda Squad look a little bit lost for what to do here. They tried to test down that 9 line, and they've been sent back. They know what's laying in wait for them. There's too much firepower there. As you said, once they get that one bit of damage dealt to one area of their sort of tactics, they just kind of fold in, and they didn't find anywhere to be able to execute. And, well, it's pretty good for them in a way they stayed alive, because if they went into that situation just over that ridge, they would have been in severe trouble. They know they've been spotted as well, so they're going to have to play this one carefully. I don't know what they really have possible here now.
They don't have what Evil Panda Squad, at least. They don't have very many options. You know, they're down now. Really, the MX 3090 being killed for no real reason. I'm not sure exactly what Eclipse was doing in that position. I think that's better taken by a T1, and the fact that their own T1 just couldn't do anything. It just wasn't spotting anything. It was completely useless behind the rock. If you can't even spot the tanks that, the tanks you've put your T1 there to spot, then what's the point of it? But yeah, mousesports haven't seemed to have realized how much of an advantage they are at this point. They can push in, they can pretty much do anything, they can make one of the most stupid plays, and they're almost certain to win. Especially with the tank line that they're taking with the T32, still on 1,033 HP, whereas an AMX 3090 would be about half HP at this point. But it does look like Elian's going to be the catalyst for this move. Protomaka's coming down from the left. I think what they're going to do is come from the side, do some damage, distract the Evil Panda Squad there, then push the T69 and the T32 in just in one location there. But they know pretty much exactly what Evil Panda Squad is doing, exactly where they are. They've got new multi-show Eclipse on Ace on spot. And they don't really have to worry about the Pershings too much, because although they're good sustainable damage, they're not good in a firefight.
I have to see if mousesports are brave enough to actually start executing at the moment, because Evil Panda Squad are just playing defensive at the moment. They are only one map against two, so it's ball in their court to make a move. But as you said, the situation just does not favor them at all. Right now, they're trying to play it smart, but Carmen keeping appearing on the horizon does get punished by a new multi-show there, actually. Landing a great shot. Let's have a little look in from the point of view over this side, because, well, the OBJ 416 is doing the damage, taking down the T1. So just really just limiting the view of Evil Panda Squad as we speak. And they're pretty much backed into a corner right now. There's not too much of an option, really. And It's the first time I'm really seeing this map being played this slowly. Normally, it's all about that quick execution, jumping on the advantage you have. And I think the Evil Panda squad are starting to kind of rile themselves up here. Lucasti, New Multishow, Zenith, and Ace now pushing down that 8 and 9 line, maybe trying to get around the backside of the main firepower of mousesports.
And trying to come up from the side, from the back, catch them by surprise, have that element. Well, the thing is, you pop over to mousesports, you can see Carmen is actually hull down there. Ketavan's a bit in the open, he could get focused down. But the question is, will he be able to reverse fast enough? But mousesports don't have to worry at all. You know, even if Evil Panda squad do catch one of their tanks by surprise, Elian is just about in position to get there in time, but they are going to push in. It's Evil Panda squad against mousesports.
Indeed, this is so close right now. Lucasti and New Multishow are pushing themselves in towards this one. Ketavan, as you mentioned there, just over that ridge. Carmen as well. This is going to be the big brawl we've been waiting for. New Multishow, Ace, Lucasti looking to make the connections. Carmen already coming through. Doesn't get the one he wanted, but New Multishow will receive a shell down to 1-1-3-5. New Multishow's attention being split. Alien being focused down immediately, but Carmen's the one to fall first. Lucasti takes him out in that T-32. And now Ketavan getting down low, but New Multishow just about managing to escape there, as Potomako did find Ace. Nispazorni does receive a little bit of fire, but nothing too much. Zenith down low, 170. Ketavan and Potomako sitting very healthy at the moment. Evil Panda squad have a mountain to climb HP-wise up against the remainder of mousesports, and look at Potomako making his way in, but Lucasti taking the fire towards Ketavan, 4-2-3. Lucasti put himself right on the line, 2-4-1. He's on 1 HP, he's took down Ketavan there, and now Nispazorni is the next firing target. He's on 5-8-4. Potomako chasing down Zenith. This is unbearably close with 1 minute left. New Multishow needs to be that pivotal player that he just can be. Potomako dancing around that rock, trying to keep Zenith away. Nispazorni, you're using that fallen tank as cover, and that T1 coming in, doing what it can, and Pointer doing every single bit of damage as possible to him. Zenith still staying alive, but how long until Lucasti can get involved? Here we go, finally reloaded. Finally on 1 HP. Here we go, New Multishow is pushing in. He's going to be the one taking the fire right towards Nispazorni. 68 HP left, and this is game over, surely. New Multishow does land the kill onto Nispazorni. That 3090 is out of there. Potomako, the next man to surely fall to their hands. And it's New Multishow, the man who was locked out before, barging his way into this game and getting 2 pivotal kills towards the end there. Evil Panda squad. It was a hard-fought task, but in that situation, they somehow pulled it off. And I've got to give it credit again. New Multishow, when he's allowed in, when he's there and Lucasti, both of those in tow, the damage they dealt between them was huge. 2.1k damage for Lucasti, 1.7 to Multishow. But bear in mind, Lucasti stayed alive on 1 HP then. Yeah. I feel as though it was almost a little bit of luck on their side, but still, they brought it back all even.
Unbelievable. They almost did the impossibles when your tier 8 tank's down and you've done no damage for it. And then finally trying to get the win. I mean, it's just incredible. And their sneak tactic did end up working. And I think that was partly down to the fact that Carmen just literally didn't absorb any damage. Like, he got, I think, one shell actually did no damage against him. Apart from that, they're all damaging shells. Yeah. And that was the end, because Carmen went down. The whole of mousesports were just in the wrong position. Yeah. They were literally 10 meters from the wrong position, though, because what was lovely about Evil Panda squad, they kind of pushed in, half of mousesports to the left, half of mousesports to the right. So all they had to do, Evil Panda squad, to do was turn their turrets one way, deal with the guys on the right. Turn their turrets the other way, deal with the guys on the left. And Zenith did a fantastic job coming from behind with his AMX 3090 and really distracting and ended up killing one of the AMX 3090. So altogether, Evil Panda squad splitting mousesports right down the middle, taking care of the guy responsible for the middle, Carmen, and then just using their kind of luck a bit. But Lucas Yesti, left on 1 HP, but he'd almost done his job by that point. I think Evil Panda squad could have won it either way.
Yeah, with New Multishow being there, the way they've been playing out, very well played to them. And they have taken it into a 5th map, I do believe it is, if I'm not mistaken, which will be Mines, another defining one here. So let's find out what they're going to be getting, because the tank picks are underway. So let's jump in onto that screen and have a look at what we're getting so far. So
exactly what happened. It's weird, deja vu almost. Like, Overmore is 2-0 down, then, coming back to 2-2, and then, drawing it out at the end. But it's happened here as well. Now 2-all and going to our 5th map. Can Evil Panda squad do what's fantastic to see and take it 3-2 against mousesports? Or will this be a draw and mousesports take it? That's our 3 options, obviously. Double T1 for mousesports, double T1 for Evil Panda squad, AMX 3090, T69 for both as well. So mirrored picks to start us off with, as per usual from these two. And what was strange, I think, mousesports used that 416 on steps, and they used that T32, which didn't end up working. And that double Pershing, just so strong as well. I mean, so strong. Oda Mortis did wonders with it, and then Evil Panda Squad just did wonders with it. So I think that's going to be a mainstay for these teams, at least these two teams, since it's just done fantastically. And I honestly think one of the main reasons why Evil Panda Squad won that match, especially with new multi-show in it and Lucas Yisti, MX3090 for mousesports and then T69 as well. So they're going for the double MX3090, probably the triple T69 and the double T1. And I think Evil Panda Squad is going to do the same, as it's probably the strongest lineup on this map. T32 could also be good, but once again we saw that all it takes is the other team just to do all its damage as it possibly can, take out that T32, and suddenly it's just a useless chunk of metal. So MX3090 and T69 as well for Evil Panda Squad. And it's just going to be a question if these two teams pick the extra T69 or the extra MX3090, maybe a Pershing. We'll have to wait and see for that one. Like Oda Mortis did use on Mines, which worked out quite well. Even used double MX3090, but at least for mousesports, they're just going to go for the standard, the triple T69, double MX3090, double T1, while the Evil Panda Squad are going to pick that T32. So opting for the T32 on Mines as opposed to steps, at least. Have to wait and see if that one works. Once again, if it gets caught out early on, it was going to be in trouble.
And this is what it comes down to, guys. This is the defining map. They've gone toe-to-toe all the way. First two, Mouse. Second two, Evil Panda Squad. You guys at home seem to be kind of torn as to where you want to put your predictions. I was reading Twitch chat, and you guys just don't know who's going to win it. So, neither do I, obviously, and it's going to be hard to kind of call this one. I feel as though mousesports have had the upper hand a little bit in the first two maps, the way they execute. If they can kind of rekindle that, I think they're in for a good chance here.
I'm pretty sure they're in good for a good chance. But yeah, we're going to jump onto a quick map video of Mines.
Mines, the original and best World of Tanks 7-on-7 map famed for its incredible tactical opportunities. A small map being 800 by 800 meters. The map has three primary routes of attack: the left flank through the water, the middle area, and the town side. The key position on this map is the middle area, as it provides great firing positions and areas of attack for the team that holds it. The middle area's primary entrance is the road passing through the middle of the map. It is essential that the teams take key areas around the hill, both of which are situated just below the hill, the north side and the south side. These locations can provide for some amusing tactics. The hill isn't the only means of attack on Mines though. There's also a housing area towards the east side that has a fair few routes of attack and provides great cover for advancing tanks. The water area can be an option for teams, however the soft ground makes it very hard for tanks to traverse rapidly, but leads straight to the opponent's base.
All right, guys, let's get straight into the action here in the fifth and final map, the decider between these two teams. Going head-to-head, what are we seeing at the moment?
So Evil Panda Squad are kind of trunking off the hill a little bit. We got mousesports taking the hill. Potomaco's gone up there with Nia Pazzoni and Ketavan defending him. So like we saw, Oda Mortis versus Playing Ducks, the northern side can't quite get to that hill quick enough, while the southern side does manage to get there. Potomaco getting a good respawn. A good spawn location at least. New multi-show though, he's going to be such a threat with that T32. Obviously 298 millimeters of armor on the mantle, and obviously the mantle can bounce so much, and it's just going to be it's going to be a horrible task for them at the end of the day to try and take it down. And what they're going to have to do is try and come around from the side, really do the damage to the back of the T32 where it's most vulnerable, and see if that one works out. But at the moment, Potomaco and mousesports have the advantage. They have that hill, which is so key on Mines. Cannot stress it enough, even though not quite as much as it was when it was called Pagorki or Hills, if anyone remembers that. It's still probably the most important thing to do. Take that hill, take that advantage, use the higher ground, see what you can do from there.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of a catch-up game right now for Evil Panda Squad, it seems. They went for a very passive start, and they're going to have to try and get themselves back towards that hill. As you said, it's firmly in the hands of mousesports, so Evil Panda Squad have a lot of work to do. Eclipse, though, is splitting off down towards that village section, trying to get himself through there, maybe looking for a different way to play this map out. I've never seen someone getting this far around without being contested, but Who knows, the game can change. Maybe fancy switching something up. But what can you do from when you're on that yellow side, when you're having to kind of pull yourself back into this one, because obviously you're at the slight disadvantage in essence, because they played it passively from the start.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to split push at the end of the day. Odemortis actually came out with a brilliant tactic from the north. What they did is basically push a couple of MX-3090s down here, the rest of the tanks across the middle, and then first the MX-3090s distract the tanks in the middle, or whatever tanks are sitting around. Then the main firepower comes across the middle, shoots the tanks that have got their turrets in the wrong direction, and it's game over at that point. But will Evil Panda Squad really have that courage? I'm not sure. And it's obviously a risky tactic. It doesn't work 100% of the time, because obviously if those AMX-3090s get tracked, or there's just too much firepower in the middle and the AMX-3090s just end up getting alienated, then it's a loss. But there's still plenty of time to come up with those tactics. 6 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock. mousesports do seem to be mobilizing, at least with their T1. Snip is pushing over towards the side. He's going to be responsible for finding anything if Evil Panda Squad do that split push. Obviously finding Eclipse in his MX-3090, the other T1 sitting over towards here for Evil Panda Squad, and the T69 joining in the fun as well. So Evil Panda Squad starting to mobilize slowly. The problem is they have that T32 in the middle, and that's pretty much the only place New Multi Show can play. So if there is going to be a push, he can't push over towards the anywhere else apart from the middle. He can't push over towards the village. He can't push over towards the island. He has to push through the middle. And that will give mousesports the confidence to know exactly what he's doing, exactly what his plays can be, and they know exactly how that tank can be played. Yep,
we're going to have to find out how this one goes down. New Multi Show just trying to get those blind shots through. No connections really yet. It's a bit of a stalemate at the moment. Who do you think is going to actually have the confidence to go forward? Because they are obviously tied up here, so it's he who dares wins almost. But do you think either of these teams is going to go on the full aggressive here, or do you think they're just going to try and play out and wait for a mistake?
Well, they don't want to have 1 point. They both want the 3 points, and obviously, you know, Evil Panda Squad sitting in 7th, and mousesports sitting in 8th. Whichever one wins this will probably go into the 6th spot. Now, we know that Playing Ducks and Odemortis have had a draw, and Odemortis was sitting in 6th, so one of these two teams will probably take that 6th position, depending on what the other games happen as well, but that's very likely. So they want that 3 points. They don't want the 1 point, because that will keep them where they are. So they've got to make a move here. And Evil Panda Squad, they have the advantage of having the momentum. They've won the last 2 matches. mousesports definitely down in the dumps a little bit, having lost the last 2 matches and having completely obliterated Evil Panda Squad at the beginning. And I'm not sure exactly how that's going to affect their morale. I know mousesports is such a professional team that it probably isn't going to affect them a whole lot. But it could do. It just depends on what the kind of mood is in the camp today, how they're playing, how they feel together as a team. Also important factors in pro gaming. But New Multi Show pushing himself over the hill a little bit. One of the things I would like to see from a T32 player as well is to pick that smaller gun, the 90mm. It's such a beast. It's good not because of the damage. It's good because it actually just perma-tracks tank. Like you find a tank on hill, you track it, it blows its repair kit. You find it again, you track it, and then you just track and track and track and track before it can repair it. And it doesn't really matter how much alpha damage you do. It's definitely a better thing. But it's not being taken. It's one of the tactics used by the Red Rush back in the day. But it's all about that alpha these days.
Yeah, the game has truly evolved since days of yesteryear, but we are going to try and see if they're starting to push around. Eclipse and Ace are looking around the side of the mountain, though. Maybe going to start a push. Don't think so. They're being very tentative, as you can see. No one really want to be that one to make the stake, as it is all tied up currently. So 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining on the board. It's pretty much who's going to have the guts to go for this can actually get the win. But no players receiving any damage at the moment. It's what's holding them back. There's no advantage to be found easily. Eclipse and Ace looking for a way through. It's not going to happen on a plate this time around. Lucasti sitting quite far back, as is Zenith. Extremely passive play. New Multi Show just once again edging around. We saw him doing this for so long before. He's happy doing it as well. I think Pointer might be getting spotted out a bit, or at least getting the spots through. But we're going to find out who's going to break the situation in half. And I'm really not sure who's going to take the initiative here.
Millian's trying to do that. He was the one who spotted Pointer out in that T1. Straight on the reverse, though. He's not messing about. And it's probably a good idea because a couple of blind shots had come out from Evil Panda Squad trying to find MX-3090, whoever happened to spot him from that bush. And there's only really one place he could have spotted on, and that was that bush. So good prediction shots from Evil Panda Squad, obviously not finding anything. As you said, there's no damage being done. And I'm afraid that's probably Evil Panda Squad's advantage there, because you want to be taking out that T-32 early on, and you don't want to get into the game. It's obviously got himself into the game. It's exactly what Evil Panda Squad want. And as it goes further along, mousesports are more likely to make the mistake. We know that's the team they are. Definitely good at the beginning, and Evil Panda Squad definitely good at the end. They're much more passive team, Evil Panda Squad, while mousesports definitely more aggressive. So that all comes into the equation as well. And 2 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock. This is the game for 3 points. This is the game for 0 points, or this is the game for 1 point.
Well, we're going to find out right now. Evil Panda Squad are slowly but surely converging on the same spot as New Multishow. He has just caught a glimpse of a player around to that left. Ace now coming around with him in the T69. They look like they want to be making a move here. Finally spotting them out. Nizpazoni lets the shell fly. Does not connect. However, the rest of the side just waits down below the defilade of this hill. New Multishow being that huge tanky member with such massive amounts of HP, being the spearhead of this charge almost, but he's just slowing down again. They're being so cautious here. 1 minute and 33 on the board. They are not rushing this one at all.
They're not going to rush it because it's everything to play for. And I think if they'd done that a couple of minutes earlier, they would have found it a lot easier, because Elian wasn't there in his MX-3090. He was on the rotate, but as soon as Elian was in place, they knew that, and they had to try from a different angle. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're probably going to come from the village this time, see if they can come from behind, knowing that mousesports is now aimed towards the hill, knowing that they're distracted by that T-32. But 1 minute left on the clock, although it only takes one tier 8 tank to go down. I don't see how they're going to do it. I don't see how one of these two teams is going to take that 3 points. Quite happy to take the 1 point if it does come down to a draw. But both these can at least sacrifice their T1. At least they can get some information, maybe find a tank, maybe take one down. But with 45 seconds left now, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, 45 seconds. Evil Panda Squad did manage to get Zenith up on that hill, but whether or not he uses anything towards it, I don't know. Even New Multishow playing even further passively now. And wait and see who's going to make that move, if anyone is. Maybe both are a little bit too scared now after such close games going all the way through. And again, a win is a lot better than a draw, certainly better than a loss still. So it's all about what matters, and I do see the movement starting to begin from mousesports. Maybe they're looking to really pull this one through in the last 15 seconds. Are they really going to go for something here? They could be in such trouble. 10 seconds left. They're appearing just around that corner. New Multishow is being cautious. Maybe they can make the difference. In Nizpazoni gets the first shell towards him, but the clock has run out. The time is over. Both of them have played it for the draw. Now, a little bit disappointing in my eyes, because we saw, such a good kind of exchange between these two. It'd be a really nice defining moment, but I guess that playing it safe in this kind of point of the season might be a bit more of a better option for both of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's not late days. It's not like they're playing for the tiebreaker 6th spot. They've still got plenty of opportunity to do that, and I think because these two are so similar in terms of skill and strategy, and back and forth throughout season 1 and 2, back and forth at Gamescom, I think at the end of the day they know 1 point against each other is a good result either way. There's teams out there they find a lot easier to beat, even though maybe I don't know, Evil Panda Squad is not as good as some of them, or mousesports is not as good as some of them. I think they find it easier to play against another team than they do to play against each other. So altogether, maybe some good strategy. They've probably all looked at the standings. They know exactly what the points are. They know exactly what this means.
Yeah, exactly. Safe play coming out, smart play. Obviously, we are still we're edging towards that middle part of the season. So it is when the points do start to begin to matter. And maybe they'll regret it later on. Who knows? It could come back to haunt them in the later days of this tournament, because both these teams are never the top 3, really. They're the ones slightly... Mousesports can be. Yeah. They can be, but I don't think they are this season. I think Denova's already overtaken them. Yeah. Already got themselves up there in the rankings. Myself, personally, at least. Obviously, you guys at home could have a completely different opinion to that. But I feel as though they need to start being careful of going for these draws. Sometimes going for the more risky move can pay off, because towards the end of the season, if they're not within that top 6, they're not going to the offline finals. And that's where it's all about. That's where the money comes into play. That's what you've been playing for all season. So who knows? This could come back and really kind of prove a bit of a mistake on one of their behalfs. But anyway, that aside, it is a draw overall. So 2-2 pretty much. And let's see if you guys at home got that one right, because I don't think I would have predicted that myself. I think mousesports should have had that on paper in my eyes. I always feel as though they're a slightly strongest team, excluding the offline results. Obviously, because Evil Panda Squad did go through all the way to 2nd place during Gamescom not too long ago. So I don't know. It's very hard to call, and these two teams clearly respecting the fact that they are so close on skill tier, they don't want to be risking it into that final map and going, okay, let's try our luck here because it can all go wrong, and 1 point is still better than none. So anyway, let's get you back over towards Melly. See how, how many of you predicted that outcome, because we certainly didn't. So Melly, what was it like out there?
Well, the community was clearly on your side, Pansy. They also thought that mousesports will take it, and the vote ended with 78% for mousesports. But the comment section shows also more votes for mousesports, so
Okay.
that's kind of, and we have 2 winners by now. So I'll give them like 5 more minutes for maybe getting a third one to guess it right, because we're nice. We want to get rid of our bonus codes. Well, way too much of them, and yeah, but it was really hard to predict.
It was stupidly hard to predict between these two. I
Mouseboard
really couldn't
rushing
do it.
in front, and then
It's been like that all day, though.
It's like
been
Ollie
crazy.
said. It's a déjà vu kind of.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's really
It really is.
strange.
Well, whatever. So, surprises all over the place. Questions. We have questions.
Oh, good. More insults
Yay.
come my way.
No.
Yay. No, I'm only joking. It's fine. Go ahead.
Only be nice.
I'm being nice. I don't know why everyone has a go at me. I'm like the nicest person ever. It's always you two.
That's true. No, we're all we
Oh.
like us. It's fine. We're good with each other. It's good. So, Radu wants to know.
Who?
Radu,
Okay.
Okay.
if there are games every day in the WoT Pro League, and how many match days we have. I can answer that.
You could answer that. How many match days do we have?
I don't know.
Ah.
You can. I like people
Okay.
working themselves. So
Alright.
head over to a homepage, wotproleague.com, and see by yourself. It's pretty easy. You'll get every information you need on that page, and also good information regarding the teams and the current table standing, and the VODs of our previous match days, and so on. That's a good answer, isn't
Good
it?
re-
It is
recover,
really
good
good. That
recover.
is a perfect way to lie your out.
So I want to
Yeah,
spoil
perfect.
how many
Wow.
match days we have. Just have a
22.
look.
Sorry, I had a little bit of a cough there. I'm not fit. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Don't punch me.
See.
The funny thing is, Lauren actually went to WoTProLeague.com and checked that out as well.
That's how the pros do it.
Just to make it sure. So, next question. Which tank is the most picked in the pro matches and why?
T1.
But yeah, I guess a T1. That's
There you go.
fair enough. Yeah, T1.
Outside of that, though.
And
what do
you
think is the
say
most
you're not
viable
an
option?
expert, Lauren.
I'm just a troll. Like, just troll people. No, but
It's kind
outside
of
of that,
true.
what is it,
I would say
1390?
it's the MX-3090.
Yeah.
It's picked on every single map, while the T69 is not picked on every single map, but it's between those two.
The IS3 is pretty viable. No open maps.
I would say the MX-3090. I don't know actually.
T69 is quite a viable option
But the thing
as well.
is, the T69 was said in season 2. But I would say now it's not picked
no way.
on Ensk, Ruhrberg and Himmelsdorf as much. I would say the MX-3090 is picked pretty much throughout them all, but then it's
Yeah.
not picked on those three as well. But I would say it's between those two.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Okay,
not really a
thank you.
definitive answer, but
Apart from T1, but we don't want to troll you
T1,
guys.
yeah, T1.
Okay, would it be possible if one team has won already and battles left to have a special round with RT or TD tanks? Could answer that as well.
They do that. It's called it's a troll round. It's like the last match day if it doesn't make any difference. Like if the points they're already too far ahead against the team they're playing. I think they picked the
Togs.
FV, the
Togs,
Togs,
yeah.
the Togs, the
Togs.
British artillery against the Hummel. They did all sorts of trolling stuff, so that does happen, yeah.
Don't encourage it,
Don't
guys.
yeah,
please.
it's not good.
Don't encourage these people.
No.
But it's true that during the league, they should play the matches seriously, even if they're lost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's-
kind of
either
because
way, it's
there's
good,
still
yeah.
match rounds to get that
Exactly.
could count
And
up.
it's good practice at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
There's
If
no better
anything, it's
practice.
good at practice. Yeah, exactly.
There's no better practice than an official game.
Yeah.
That's
Simple as that.
true. And the last one. Will we ever have a chance to choose a pattern of crosshair? Adding few historical crosshairs would be great.
Wargaming, please.
I need Burbo here. Just
Yeah.
click a button and he just like teleports in from Paris or something. Something about historical crosshairs. I honestly have no idea. I mean, at the end of the day, it's an arcade game. More Gaming did actually a video when World of Tanks was first being released. It was like an alpha, and they did like a realistic thing where the guy was in the tank and stuff. But that was just like a parody. They said that's not how this game is going to be.
Yeah.
We're not going to make it realistic. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be an arcade. It's going to be, you know, a slower Counter-Strike, which is kind of how it's played, to be honest. So I wouldn't expect to see any historical crosshairs, because I wouldn't see how that would really make sense.
To be fair, I think it's worth you guys at home, if you do have questions like that, putting it through to WG_esports_EU, because they might be able to actually answer that and maybe take it into account, because obviously we just deliver the product at the end of the day. But you know, if there's any changes that these guys at home maybe want to see,
yeah, we're not developers. It's very important so you guys realize out there, we are not developers. We don't make the games. Obviously, we give feedback to Wargaming. We let them know what we can improve, what they can improve. But we're not changing the games. That's the Belarusian guys in Minsk, and they're the ones responsible for all the game changes.
Yeah.
So if you've got any questions like that, obviously fire away, but we might not be able to answer
Best
them.
thing I'd say is go on Twitter and ask the actual Wargaming guys, because you never know, they might be able to kind of give you a bit more insight than we obviously have, because it may have even been taken into account originally, because it's obviously not going to be the first time people have thought about it. So certainly worth getting in touch with them on Twitter and maybe finding out if your answer's been asked before, or get your own answer. There you go.
Thank you. Well, that was all. No more questions left. I want to say thank you for tweeting me so many nice words. We had a lot of positive feedback today. So you two guys did an awesome job. The community is really happy to have you back, Pansy. And it was fun. Thank you very much. Thank you for making my job fun. And see you on Thursday.
Well, Melly's basically done my job closing the show. I'll leave now. Positive feedback out the window. I'm kidding.
I just said bye.
Not allowed to say goodbye. Let's mute her quickly before she does even more of my job. This is all I get paid for. This is it. She's already stop laughing in the background. Back one show and I'm getting grief already. It's atrocious. But no, we've had a great match day, haven't we?
Yeah, we've had a fantastic match, eh?
It's
been a bit of an odd one, though.
It has been. I don't think we've seen 2 draws in both of the matches we've followed before.
And not a 3-2, or at least coming back from 2-0 down.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just really strange.
It has been a real kind of crazy day. So, guys, if you do want to check out the other match days that have been a little bit more normal than this kind of strange one, go over to the WoTProLeague.com website and check it out for yourselves, because there's VODs up there. There's all the match days coming up on there, as Melly kindly told me about. Not just the 22 that I know about. You know, there's a full kind of schedule. But anyway, as she mentioned, we will be back here on Thursday the 10th. It's not too far away, so you know, do not fear too much. Make sure you check out the rankings of all the teams so far, because it's certainly worth a look at. It's heating up in the rankings. So guys, hopefully you'll be back here on Thursday. I know I will be. I know he will be. We'll try and get Melly out of here, but who knows, she's pretty stubborn. Anyway guys, see you on Thursday.